All right, guys, welcome everybody. We have Jesse Ringer here from Method and Metric down in Vancouver. How you doing today, Jesse?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you. And let's just start out with what do you guys do over at Method and Metric?
Yeah, we are an SEO agency. Here in Vancouver, we focus on helping websites show up better in Google, but also looking at analytics and being able to measure how a website is doing. And then we also work in the conversion optimization space. So taking the traffic that we have coming to your website, making sure that it is qualified and, kind of your right audience, and making sure that they are ultimately taking action on your website.
Absolutely, yeah. Turning that traffic into buying customers. Awesome. How long have you been doing that for?
Well, Method and Metric, I launched back in 2017, but I've been doing SEO since about 2011 now. So
Okay.
quite a while.
Yeah, 11 years. I love that. I love that. And so you were with a company previous to this as well then? Or?
No, I started right out of school as a consultant. It was shortly after the recession had ended, and companies weren't really hiring a lot of full-time employees. And so I desperately wanted to be a copywriter, and I kind of struggled to get my foot in the door and find sustainable or kind of consistent work. And then I kind of stumbled into SEO through a friend of mine who owned a spa, and they needed help with their website. And so, because I didn't really have much else going on at the time, I said, sure. And it just grew from there.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. And did you go to school for like SEO as well, or was it for something different?
Oh, not really. SEO is not really really a course you could take. I mean, there are courses for it, but I mean, it moves so fast that I went to school for marketing, and specifically marketing communications. And really, as I mentioned, really wanted to be a copywriter, really wanted to be in that writing space.
For sure.
And one of my elective classes was on SEO, and I fell in love with it instantly. To be able to tie kind of creative work like content writing and design and elements like that to tangible data, using analytics to kind of form an idea and then justify a direction, really resonated with me, which was something I didn't really expect. But it turns out I'm a lot more analytical than I originally thought I was. So, yeah.
Gotcha. For sure. I love that, man. And having run through the pandemic, COVID-19, were there any changes you guys had to make to the way that you did business in order to like get through that?
I think that's going to be a conversation longer than this episode could allow for, but yeah, I mean, we had to change everything.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, in a strange twist of luck, like right in February of 2020, one of my employees actually moved back to Kelowna. And so we had actually just put in place like a whole process for how we would maintain the work and work for him remotely. Part of why I always wanted to do SEO, and especially like do it on my own terms, was because I wanted to be able to work from anywhere. And so that was always in our kind of thought process. And so, when the pandemic struck, we were able to easily move to a remote work style. It definitely had its ups and downs. We did, like, meeting with clients, actually, like, new leads and new business definitely was a challenge, in that meeting with people face to face is the way that people naturally do business. It gives everyone a good sense of who you might be working with on either side, whether you're a client or an agency. It's really important, I think, to be able to connect with them on a human level. And I think doing the video thing, although it worked and everyone kind of understood it, it's not the same. And it's really different to get a good understanding of what people are like, and what they're truly after and what they're trying to accomplish in a business when it's over video. But honestly, other than that, like, there was a lot of little things that changed, but we were pretty fortunate that a lot of our clients were able to continue working through the pandemic and had a longer view of what their business will be outside of that, that initial phase. So it was pretty, it was worrying, but at the same time, it was also really encouraging to see, people continuing to, think long-term about their own business.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great point. Think long-term about their business. SEO, for sure. It's one of those long-term strategies. And with my background, like I have a strong background in online marketing. I'm sure like the whole explaining and educating on like the dynamics and everything involved with SEO was a big change you guys had to go through for sure, working with clients, especially new clients.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, transparency is huge, and
Huge.
especially when we're an
Absolutely.
agency, and like SEO does take time, and it's not ever fully finished. I mean, it's in the name. It's like you're continuously optimizing and editing and improving. But also on that, like, it's not like, with a new website as an example, you can see when that website is done. Like you
For
see
sure.
it, you have a finished product, you can like hang your hat on that. With SEO, it's like, okay, yeah, we made some changes. We might see some results soon, but it might take a few weeks. And
Yeah.
so there is a lot of educating, a lot of conversations, a lot of just kind of, making sure everyone is on the same page and that we all kind of understand the implications of our work versus like what our clients are doing too, and
Absolutely.
navigating all of that.
Yeah, managing expectations and stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Of all the actions you took throughout the pandemic, were there ways or different things you learned about doing business or being flexible, whatever the case may be, that you guys have continued to do just because you found it to be better?
Yeah. I mean, the first thing, communication. We had
100%.
to really, really get better. I mean, there's always room for improvement when it comes to communicating, but like really over communicating what we do. We were very fortunate that we remained quite busy throughout that time. So, making sure that we were communicating to our clients that we weren't necessarily seeing like face to face every day or every week, making sure that they understood what we were up to, and where things were going, and being really adaptable to the changing landscape of the macroeconomics at play. So communicating was a big one. The other thing that I found was the flexibility in terms of kind of like HR, I guess is how you'd want to consider it. But, the mental health aspect of all of it,
Totally.
our team working remotely, we had to figure out ways to keep in touch with each other and try and maintain those kinds of like human relationships.
Absolutely.
One thing that we did, a good friend of mine is a personal trainer, and obviously she was essentially out of business for a while. So we hired her to make some online videos, to get the team to like do some team stretching before every meeting we had.
Love it. That's
Spend like
awesome.
5 minutes or so and go through these videos and do it together. And just one, to get us moving, but also kind of help connect each other and, piggyback off of being able to help a friend who, instantly became unemployed when we went into the first set of lockdowns. So, we definitely had to get more creative on that front.
For
I
sure.
think the other thing too that definitely didn't come through right away, but I noticed missing, was going to meetups and other industry events to connect
100%.
with people. So we started having to kind of find new ways to remind people that we were still around. Social media was a big part of that, and just sort of getting more into video content for a while and things like that.
Awesome. Yeah. Getting creative through it for sure. I love that. I love that. So yeah, definitely some takeaways from that. I'm sure that you've continued to do as well. Now here's a kind of loaded question for sure. And if a couple things come to your mind, feel free to pick one. What's one of your biggest learning lessons since you've been a business owner?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You can mention a couple if a couple come to mind.
Yeah. Oh, I think one lesson that I had to learn the hard way was like, get everything in writing.
Absolutely.
Really,
Yeah, for sure.
and yeah, that's a big one, I would say.
Totally.
And that covers like all aspects of like client relationships, employee relationships, even partnerships. Like you just gotta make sure it's all there. Yeah. that's easily the biggest lesson.
Yeah, get everything in writing. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the end of the questions here. Jesse, any offers or before we get to the last one, any offers or best way for people to get in touch with you if they're interested in SEO?
Yeah. Our website, methodandmetric.com. Easily the best way to get in touch with us. We have a great resource section for anyone that wants to learn a bit more about SEO or is already doing some on their own terms. We have some great little tools in there. LinkedIn, spend a lot of time there, Twitter too. But yeah, we're always looking to chat. Anyone that's curious about SEO or how it might work for their business. I'd say go through our website or LinkedIn too.
Yeah, and I don't normally ask this, but because SEO is a little bit more niche, maybe you want to give an example of when somebody would want to reach out to you guys for help, or like what situation a business owner could potentially benefit from your guys' work?
Yeah. That's a great question. I would say if you're thinking about rebuilding your website, that would be a good time to talk about it.
Okay.
Or if you've been established for a bit and you have a good sense that, you're trying to figure out how to leverage your website into more business, whether that's leads or whether that's e-commerce. Like once the website is pretty established, we do find like when a company does redo their website and they re-engage or connect with us like shortly after that's happened, it tends not to be a good fit because ultimately with SEO, we're going to have to make changes to your website. And
sure.
I think when a brand new website launches, everyone is pretty set on not making any more changes.
Totally. No, I love that. Awesome, man. Awesome. Last big important question here is, what is most inspiring to you today?
Oh, man. Man, that's another loaded question. There's so many things.
Absolutely.
Man, I think the evolution of like community in business. I think that's something that's really emerged from the pandemic. Early on in the pandemic, I think everyone was really eager to help each other. At least I can speak to I live in a townhome up on a 6th floor, and our floor was like people are going shopping for each other and baking and cooking and helping each other in ways that don't really you didn't see before that. And I found that kind of mentality carried through business, where people are just eager to help and share and contribute, and that still like always inspires me. It's super exciting to see.
I love that. No, that's an awesome answer. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jesse. Appreciate it. And if you guys want to get in touch with him, his info and all contact information will be below.